We want to look at both math and reading and kind of look at the differences and similarities of where the kids are at. So that way we can actually design our design challenge for October. But the first one, diagnostic status, this one we all know what that one is, and that one is just exactly where they are in there. So in this platform, this is what everyone has seen, where their progress is versus what grade level they are at. And then you can actually click in and see why they're at that grade level. As a team, we've already looked at this, so I'm not going to talk about it. But the one I do want to talk about in reports is the diagnostic results. And you can either click reading or math. Today I'm going to click on math, but whichever one you teach. And this I really like because it's a visual of where your class is based on either above or mid or below grade level. And this can just give you a quick snapshot for where they're at in their operations, especially in math. It's helpful to see really quickly a glance of, okay, where do we might need redirection or clarification. And Alejandra, you can always jump in to say
Yeah, no, and this is the one that we looked at where it showed, just for a bird's eye view, the numbers in operation and geometry as a grade level for right now that I was looking at the most yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And
always low.
yeah, and it's always low. But then from there we asked, what standards, like we got more specific, because number sense operations is
A lot of different standards.
and
a
so
lot
we
of
need to
different
get
things.
more specific.
So when we were looking down here at the bottom, it actually will show you specific students and their typical growth and stretch growth based on where this overall placement is. But this is just a quick visual. It doesn't necessarily show the exact teaks. So Alejandra and I were really brainstorming on how we could find those exact teaks, because this just kind of gives you for each student where they are at. And we kind of found them, but let me show you what we really looked at. So if you go to reports, and then it was in the grade level planning and the grade level scaffolding, they're different for math and reading. So I'm going to click on math first, and then you do have to select. You have to select which one you're looking at. So for ours, algebraic reasoning was the one we saw that was really low, so I'm going to click on that one. And then it will show you things about that specific topic. And what I like about this, I don't know if y'all are here, can y'all see it?
Well, because she can only see reading.
I can
versus
only
English.
see
Right, so if you're reading, you
Yes,
only
you
see
could-
reading.
Yeah.
So you can
don't
still,
have the prerequisite.
No.
no,
You're
Okay.
saying
you'll only see reading because you only teach reading.
So just
yeah.
look at this
You
one.
meant the prerequisites for reading?
Yeah, it doesn't,
She
I
doesn't
just have grade
She
level
can't
planning
see the grade
scaffolding, I
level.
don't have the
you don't
prerequisites.
have,
Go to class. Are you under class?
do you have this one? The scaffolding?
Yeah, I have the
That's all she-
scaffolding.
That's all you should have.
Okay.
Yes.
Because this
Alright.
is just for
That's
math.
how you click on
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
This one's
Alright,
just for
perfect.
math and this one's for reading.
alright, cool.
Yeah. So you can look on her Chromebook for math,
Yeah.
but you can also click on the reading one. I just clicked on math first.
And so you go further and then you select No. The teach performance, I found that it was, now I don't know if it's true, is if you give an assessment through iReady,
Yeah,
then it will show up in the Teaks Master Performance.
right.
Because right now it shows blank, like what I saw, but if we find something.
If we find something
Yeah,
more, we'll
let me
keep
know.
digging, but we're still learning it. But what we noticed was that we could pick a specific topic, and it goes into detail on what they should know in this topic. But what we liked was it actually identified specific groups of students. So as you're working through each thing, you can actually see, okay, which groups are actually understanding this, and it will tell you the students that are understanding it. And it goes through each one telling you which students understand what without you having to make those groups.
Go ahead.
Now down here at the bottom, it actually will tell you and give you kind of a snapshot for each one. So this is like the closest we got to for the
there
teams
any
for math
lighting?
on this one. But it will tell you what kind of skill it is, if it's a skill that they really need to know, and then who's in that
I'm
group.
gonna say let's go.
Now, when you actually click right here, it does tell you the names, so you don't have to constantly go back up and scroll up. You can just like, okay, who's really struggling with this still? Okay, this group and this group, and who are those kids? I just think that would be really helpful for small groups in general.
Yeah, I thought that, yeah,
I used that and then I clicked on the view resources and that's where I got all my,
and that's where you get all your groups?
Yeah,
that's where I got all my stuff.
yeah. So
So
I was
that-
thinking like that would be really
So
great.
from here,
I clicked
You
view
click here.
resources.
okay,
And then I went to group A and I printed what it said and then I went back into the, like keep scrolling, keep going. And then right there on the side, see where it says Think Up Math Grade 2 Lesson 25?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For
yeah.
that teak. So then
Yes.
I went back into the resources and I looked up that
That-
lesson and that's
So
what I'm
can
doing
you
for
just
yours.
type it in when you look it up for
like copy paste
to
that
think it up?
and to search or
Oh,
no?
it like go to, click on your dashboard
Okay.
Okay,
and then scroll up
Maybe.
and then go to Assess and Teach.
And it's under the teacher toolbox. Okay.
Then you go to the Teacher Toolbox Math and then click on grade 2, change it to grade 2. Then go over there and change it to whatever, was it ready? Is that
no,
what
it was a think up.
Think Up Math,
Think Up,
so change
Think
it
Up.
to Think Up Math, and then scroll to whatever lesson it
That's
told us.
awesome.
And then I just click on the thing and I look through all and I
Which
find
one
out
it is.
whatever lesson I
Right,
wanna
so if it
do.
was like
I
unit
read
one.
through them and pick one that I think is gonna be interesting.
So did you specifically look at like the intervention activities or did
I
you
click,
go
like
through?
if you click on, I click on unit 2, like if it's unit 2, I click on that whole thing, so
Yeah.
it pulls
It's
up
like a
all of them
packet.
like that, yeah.
And then
and
you
then
can look and
I
choose.
look at all of them and I choose
See,
which
look
one
at us
I want.
learning from each other. This is great.
So like I look through all of them and I'm like, oh, I don't think they'll like that. But
Yeah.
the intervention ones have a lot of like games to do and
Yeah.
different things to
It
play
depends
with
on the
them.
program, right?
Mhm.
Now, the one that I was looking into is I did see that there's a way to assign things online,
Oh, I didn't.
but
I saw one like assign, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
it's not for every single skill.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
not for every single level. So it's very similar to that, but it's not for every single one.
So that's what I've been doing for the last 2-ish weeks with my group.
When you're looking with your groups.
Mhm.
Okay.
If you go back to reports, we can show them the,
I'm gonna show them reading too.
yeah, the reading, go ahead.
Let me
The
show them
teach
the reading one
performance one
too.
here.
The reading one is very similar also. You just click which grade it is. And then you
mine
do have to
does that.
start, this is interesting is that you have to do it by the lesson. But even though
It's
we
by the
don't do
story,
this
right?
lesson, but it's by the story. So you can actually print out the stories if you want to for the people that come into your room.
This was
To do
cool,
with
the
them.
all reading buddies.
Yeah.
It groups your kids to kids in the class that are the
That
same
could
reading.
So you
be-
just
That's
click
cool.
it and they already
So
give you,
it already
based on their
tells you
Lexile level,
who is with who.
and it
Right.
helps you see who you can actually pair together. So
pretty
you don't even have to think about it if you want to do pairs for reading passages. They already made it for you.
See, that's what you're trying to do today.
And some of them even said like might need more support, like ready paired or pairing needs support or they need teacher support. Luckily, the ones that need teacher support, they just put at the bottom
Yeah.
and then you know they're gonna be at your small group table and everyone else can be in pairs, but that they probably do.
What happens if like
Wait,
1,
no, that's
2,
both
3, 4?
classes. That's both classes.
But then down here it is a little different
Then
in
you
that
flip it. Take that.
this is something that is different from the math is that whenever you scroll down, it has the 3 tiers, but it actually gives you the exact like
Yeah,
PDFs
that's
that
cool.
you should
That's
use
cool.
for that skill.
That's how we saw the difference between math and reading. Math, it kind of takes you and
You have to go find
You
it.
have
what
to
I'm
find it
thinking,
yourself.
I'm
Yeah, you have
thinking
to
is
find
that
it.
math is just more of them.
Well, because there's so much in the math.
Yes,
There's
I
A
think
lot of
much.
concepts.
That one reading story can include many things.
Yeah.
Whereas math is like
This
standard
one
and this-
skill.
for each skill, it
Yeah.
has
Mhm.
so many lessons.
Yeah, so like when I printed that topic,
Yeah.
it was like 4 teaks.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like comparing numbers, it was my place value, it was ordering numbers.
So did you use it for the
and
whole
rounding.
week?
It was for it's been for the last 4 weeks.
And it was just that one you used for the last?
It was, it
Like
was
a
like
bundle, right?
It was like a bundle, so
That's
I had to keep going back in there and printing those lessons because
that.
the way it like lined it up and grouped the kids was based on like, I guess their number sense,
Yeah,
like how they scaffold them.
I like
And
that.
it didn't split mine in like 4 groups, mine are A, B, C.
So
There
then
was
you had
not
to
a
kind
D.
of,
No.
well, you know, so then you just had to
Well,
break one apart.
Let me change my mind. There wasn't an A. There was only B, C, D.
Okay. So did you just split one of those apart into
Yeah.
a separate group?
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
I said the teach
Yeah.
performance one.
well, let's look at the teach performance one.
This was the closest one that we could look at that had like the standards.
Yes.
And then this code, it tells you, where was the code?
At the top, right here. So this is the actual key, so it's a green check, a blank check, and then an X. So the green check means that they're likely to understand the skills that they've done. The blank check was that they only understand some of it or partially. And then the X means they do not understand the concept at all. And you can actually order it based on if you want it to be high to low or low to high, depending on what you like to look at first. I personally like to see which students are struggling first, just so I know where they're at. And I just put that at the top. So this is the number that the questions they missed. Is
In
what
the
this number
diagnostic,
shows.
is that what we're looking at?
Yeah.
That was the wondering that we had. You know, was all these standards tested in the diagnostic?
Yeah.
It,
I'm not understanding.
because it was hard to understand that, to see that. And then what happens when you click on the teak?
So if you actually
3.9.
click into the teak, like if I were to click
Mhm.
this one, it would say what the description of it is and then show you the performance of each student. So a check means they got it, they're good, they can move on. But like these X's mean that they could not move on. So look, mine is like half and half. They either have it or they don't.
And a white check means what?
They kind of get it. So that in between, like the yellow.
The
So
the
if
kid's
it's
name,
white,
she
it's
clicked
kind
on
of
the
hit or
standard.
miss.
you have to go
So you
Yeah.
can look at your kiddos and kind of see, are
Like
they
a
getting
green-
it or are they
a green
not?
check is the other one we got that.
Green, yeah,
that's a
if you go
bummer.
up here to the key, yeah, it shows, yeah.
So if they're all a green check, that's great. You can move on from that teak. But if they're not,
We
then you
couldn't
know you
see
can
like
pull.
how many times there were assessed on this. Was it a one and done?
We
like,
don't know.
It was a high question, they didn't answer because it was too hard, so it automatically gave them an X. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's the
we
part we
didn't
don't
know
know.
the depth of the depth of the standard.
Because it doesn't say. It just says how many students got it, and how many students
You know,
didn't.
like
It doesn't say.
there's
how
not
many times
enough
they were
info
tested.
for me to
Right.
say,
Right.
I know for sure 100% the kids, it's green all the way.
The kiddo. So if I click on the kiddo,
It doesn't have, okay.
let's see. It will show you all of them. So you can look by kid too, but it doesn't say which questions. This kid had a lot of checks.
Click on the plus sign with 3.3b.
Let me
What does
see.
it do?
Let's see if I
It
can.
expands it, so doesn't it? No, it just
Just
talks
explains
about,
it.
yeah.
It doesn't say
Okay.
what question.
Yeah, that's the part that we couldn't get. The only thing we could see that maybe as a teacher, you assigned a quiz over standard 3.2a, and then I can see the benefit of this report, because then from there I could see, okay, I gave quiz
Yeah.
10 questions.
Yeah.
I know the questions are all on 3.2a. Now I can really see, do they know it or don't know
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, we'll just have to do
When
that
it-
through our Edugents teacher.
Let me see one maybe he
Or
didn't
unit
know, because
assessment.
maybe it will show it. 'Cause that was
Because
what
when you
those
base
did.
it just on a diagnostic, it's
It
hard
doesn't.
to
No. It
doesn't
grasp.
say
Well,
like
for
the
me as a
ones that
like
they don't
my
know.
teacher brain, I was like, it's hard for me to say.
Yeah, because you don't know how many times they're tested on.
Right,
Yeah, because if they only did it once and got it wrong, then
it would be an
That's not
X
like-
probably.
it'll
Right.
just be an X, but that doesn't
Necessarily mean they don't get
necessarily
it.
mean that
Yeah.
they don't
So
get it.
That's the
all
part we
this
have not
stuff that
found
they're
yet.
doing,
But
like,
if you
in
do
IQ
find it,
time when they get on there, how do
we
I
can talk about it.
see?
Let me see this PDF. Let me see
That's
that.
the learning.
I had no idea if they like did it that day. Like
I think that's under
can see it.
instruction.
It's the personalized.
You can print it
Yeah,
out for
the
each kiddo if you
personalized
wanted to.
instruction summary.
Okay.
I
But
think
it's
it's
a summary, so it doesn't tell you like
What they're doing.
what they're doing that day. So like I can have a kid who comes up and says that they're done, but I can't go check and see that they did the one lesson.
like
or
I
that
could
one
see
lesson.
that they
Right.
did these lessons. So whenever I went
Does it
to
say when?
reports and I went to instruction, so Lily, you want to do it there?
Yeah,
Okay, go to.
go back.
It's there. I think it's all
You
the
have to close in the right hand side.
little
Oh,
blue.
thank you.
Okay, go up to the top. Go to reports.
Okay,
but now go to instruction side.
Okay.
When you're there, click on personal instruction summary. So math or reading, whichever one. Okay, and then so that tells the class, and then
Okay.
scroll down,
So you have to click.
and then click on the child. Let's say Cooper Cherry.
Okay.
You want to see what they've been working on. And then you scroll down,
Well, that's weird.
and then keep go, and then
Right there, the activity.
the activity over. You click on the plus.
Am I done? I don't think I'm plugged in.
Okay, so you can see.
No, I have a different meter.
No, if you go down further. then
There you
it
go, there you
shows-
go.
Okay, okay.
I was like,
Oh.
So you can see what the
Compa- so-
lesson is called.
and you can see the date.
Yeah.
And you can actually, you can probably click in and see what the
Is it
lesson
on?
is
Is
too.
that on the blue light?
Yeah.
You can
That's
also
red.
So you
like
can
do a date
preview
range
the
of-
instruction and the quiz, so you can see what teaks they're doing. And let's see the instruction. You can actually preview what their instruction is, I
I think
think.
it took its last breath.
No, we don't need to actually see it.
You, I've got some new word problems for us to solve.
But you can actually look and see what they learned and then look at the quiz that they had to take, which is probably more of what you'd want to see, but.
So the goal with the personalized learning, I need to.
Ian brings
It's-
4 balloons.
Okay.
How many minutes a week?
It's,
45 to 60?
it is
45 to 59, something like
It's
that?
49.
49.
49 minutes
Is the max.
is
49.
max.
Not a minute over.
No. Okay.
49 minutes.
And then from there, you could do the flight fluency.
Correct.
The flight fluency doesn't count towards the 49.
No, that is
Okay.
separate.
That is separate. Yes.
Which I'm complimenting Jones's kids today. Whenever I went to your class to watch them do their iReady, they said, we cannot start this until we do our fact fluency
Yes.
first.
Yes.
And
they
I
do.
said, okay. So, that was awesome.
Okay, we've talked a lot. We've
Yes,
seen a
that
lot
was
of
a lot.
reports. Now it's time for you just to dig in. Okay. And then this is the hard part. Okay, it's you have to like, what do my students need? Where am I in the curriculum?
Oh, boy, what did
Like
we-
what's coming up in the curriculum? And then now I gotta do a design challenge with them.
So we really
So we're
want
gonna
to
take
see
it in
what their
steps.
biggest need is.
So I
whether
will,
it's reading or math or both, just kind of like in the reading, find what they need most of reading. In the math, I can help you find what they need help most of math, and then we'll just brainstorm how to design from there.